Hello, and welcome back to another Elevated Marketing Dad podcast. My name is Jennifer Denny, and with me today I have
Brenna Jackson. Hello, hello.
And today we're going to talk about how to get a better ROI from the traffic that you already have coming to your website. Some marketers would call this conversion rate optimization, and we would too, but you as the business owner probably are like, what the hell is conversion rate optimization and why do I need it, right?
For sure. We always like to throw out more terms.
Gets a little confusing if you're not in marketing every day. So, if you've been living underneath a rock maybe lately, or you just don't pay attention to marketing data lately, there is less and less traffic to your website due to zero-click marketing. There are people who are getting the answers directly from the chat GPTs or the AI overviews. And so if you haven't noticed, there's a lot less traffic coming to your website from that alone.
Yeah. And maybe you've been trying to figure out why you're getting less traffic. Well, ding, ding, ding. This could be your answer.
Yeah. Also, social media channels are really trying to avoid any kind of posts that send traffic back to your website. And so you're going to see less traffic from your social media as well.
Yeah.
So that means you really need to make all the traffic that comes to your website, if you can get it to convert just a little bit higher, then that's really going to pay off long term.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, again, with fewer traffic, and that just overall leads to fewer chances to get those leads to come through. Now's the time to really buckle down on that, what we call conversion rate optimization, to get the most bang for your buck on that.
I mean, in previous years, we would say, the average website converts at 5%. And now, if everybody has less traffic to their website, it's possible that will go up, but it's still a small percentage that any little movement on that is going to be a big improvement.
Yes. No, I absolutely agree. And especially with fewer traffic. I mean, it's just math. It's nothing.
So we would be remiss if we didn't mention that some people might call this also key event optimization, and that's only because Google Analytics changed it from conversions to key events. Again, not to make it confusing.
Yes.
So when you go to do conversion rate optimization, the first thing you need to do is take a look at your metrics and figure out of your metrics, what is your true problem? Why are people not converting? And there's a couple metrics that I think you should pay attention to. What are your favorite?
Yeah. And I think it's important to note too, we've known this, but we're also in an engagement dominated era right now. So engagement is it matters the most, in terms of trying to pick out maybe what's wrong, why is something not working. I would definitely be looking at my engagement rate. So this is essentially just telling me or us how many people who are coming to your website, how many of those visitors are either clicking, maybe they're scrolling, they're spending time on your website. That all contributes to your engagement rate.
Yeah, and if you have a low engagement rate, then that means either the traffic you brought in is no good, or you have a messaging problem, or you just don't have a content. You're not able to move them down. So you really need to take a look at how you can improve different places. I would say another one is time on page. If people are spending less than 10, 15 seconds, you again, have a messaging problem that they're not finding what they're looking for, and you really need to improve that as well.
Yeah. And I think with this one too, it could almost be tied into bounce rate. So like if
Mhm.
you're seeing 1 or 2 seconds are being spent on a page, then that might indicate to you that there's a site speed issue. And now if your bounce rate is also lining up with that and you've got a high bounce rate, that again could be a kind of a red flag that maybe there's a site speed issue.
Yeah. Another metric I like to look at is returning users.
Hmm.
So, depending on what type of business you're in, if you have nothing but new people coming in and nobody is returning, then you're not providing great content that people want to come back and learn more about what you're offering.
Yes, for sure. And I think another metric that is maybe kind of the whole point of this conversation, but key events themselves
Yeah.
or your conversions, however you may word it. But I mean, are they filling out your forms? Are they calling? Maybe you have a download that you would prefer they enter your funnel that way. That's anything that you're of quality that you want to track and count as a conversion.
Yeah.
That's, of course, your key events.
Well, maybe you're asking for too many questions on your form. Like maybe you need to reduce the amount of information you have so that you can get them to the next step.
Yeah.
There could be several things that can happen there. Um, but I think you have to first look at your overall website structure. Like, is it easy when you come in that people can easily find what they're looking for, or is it disorganized and it doesn't make sense?
Yeah. Now, user experience has always been important on a
Mhm.
website, but I do feel like now that we're seeing less traffic, it's all the more important because it's kind of going to be that first impression on whether or not they want to stick around or if they're just going to leave and find something else.
Well, people have shorter attention spans than they used to, and so you have to make it real easy for them to look and figure out, whether or not you are a good decision.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, you gotta align the navigation, in my opinion, with the buyer journey. So if you take a look at our website, you'll notice that we start with knowledge, which is typically the buyer's journey, with a marketing agency, is they're just trying to make sure you actually know what you're talking about,
Mhm.
all the way through, strategy, solutions, case studies, why us, then the contact. It's just a logical order. And
Mhm.
underneath each one of those, there's logic to why there is additional information underneath there.
Yeah, and even across these pages too, it's still trying to lead our users in the direct path of what our desired action is, which is to contact. It's
Yeah.
still, again, like you said, just leading them down that buyer journey per se.
Well, we treat every page like a landing page. Like when we work with someone, you need to make sure that on that page, you're starting off with what's in it for them. What problems do you solve? How do you solve that problem? What are the logistics to doing business with you? And then what does everybody else say?
Mhm.
Like, do you have reviews? Do you have like trust factors that are on your website? Like, that's going to help someone make that decision quicker or convert more
Mhm.
likely on the first time because they'll get to know, like, and trust you sooner.
For sure. Yeah, I definitely with that social proof should not be overlooked ever.
I would also say, like, design for visual flow.
Yeah.
You don't want like big giant, text boxes, and you got to make it look good and follow that Z pattern or F
Mhm.
pattern so that it's easy to kind of get what you need out of it.
Yeah. And I think too, creating layers with your call to actions. Now, we don't want to overwhelm with too many call to actions. I think then that could maybe muddy the waters a little bit. But if you're giving clear and concise call to actions on what the next step is, then that's, of course, going to help. Maybe it's, again, contacting you or downloading a form, taking a quiz, whatever that may be. You can layer those call to actions to get them to that end result.
Yeah. There's so many little things that you can continually work on a website in order to improve your conversion rate optimization or key event optimization, whatever you want to call it, that it's just not a one and done thing. It's something you should constantly think about. Oh, well, let's give them information about this, or let's give them information about that, and it can help make that conversion quicker.
For sure. And as we start with almost everything, it's who are we talking to? So do you have your buyer persona? And is your messaging on your website aligned with how your audience will receive and perceive different messages?
All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for this topic. I mean, we can certainly talk about it a lot more, but there is a great blog post on this. Certainly head over to our website at elevatemarketing.solutions and sign up for our newsletter, or you can follow me over on LinkedIn, Jennifer Denning. All right. Take care now.